Guys, happy Monday. It is June 9th. I got a weed whacker, so I have been spending the whole weekend playing with it. The battery only lasts for about 45 minutes, takes 2 hours to charge or something, so been kind of going at it off and on. But I got the front pretty well cleared up, so I wanted to give you guys a walk through this. First, I didn't think these bleeding hearts would come back. I got to get this out of there and whack the bindweed under it, but didn't think these bleeding hearts would come back from last year, but they did. My catmint plant over here is huge. This thing's indestructible. Still haven't done anything with this bed. I'm working on it again this year. That's kind of a coffee break sort of project for me over the next week or so. Went through and weeded out this patch of garlic. There's another patch about the same size in the back. And then these ones, you can see the cuts. I went and and harvested the scapes off of these. I'm harvesting the scapes off of the other ones tomorrow. Some of the lavender I planted here, I guess I didn't get it all up because a couple of them have grown back. And the English lavender is doing just fine as always. This spring I took out some of the grape hyacinths and a lot of the weeds and planted our native milkweed in this area, in this little patch. That's what this plant is. So hopefully it will get established and then we will start getting monarch butterflies. I have done nothing with this front iris patch. This is my last patch in the front that I need to get at. I'm going to be poking at that coffee breaks next few days as well. Out front, got a ton of stuff planted. This is all of the plants that I have left for this year. It's 6 lupins, 1 gay feather, and 2 yarrow. And I'm not planting the yarrow because my yarrow spreads. So I don't need it. This is Anise hyssop. This is a native, also makes a nice tea. Behind it are 4 different kinds of colored hummingbird mints, so this is kind of my hummingbird mint corner. Those ones are not native, they're kind of engineered for cool colors, but it's all from the same family. Daffodils that I planted in this patch have never really done much. It's kind of unfortunate. I need to figure out what the problem is with those and maybe get some more for my folks. This patch right here, and you can see they're in different sizes and stages of I guess, being established, and a couple of them have kind of died in the patch, but this is my coneflower patch, and there's a combination of the coneflowers you get in the store, like the broadleaf coneflower, and then I also have the native narrowleaf coneflower. The broadleaf one was supposed to be native, but I was talking to a native nursery nonprofit guy, the manager for High Plains Environmental Center. He said that this broadleaf coneflower is probably not native. It's probably something that people planted in their yards and it spread into wild areas. So when they went and tracked it, they said that it was native, but it's not. There's no reason why it should be native. So another daffodil patch right here that's never done anything. A few daffodils from the store that have done something, but they're kind of dinky, and this spot just doesn't like daffodils in general. I'm probably going to have to move them. What is this? Redbirds in a Tree, I think is what the name of this flower is. This is one my mom put me onto. And then this is my dwarf reblooming lilac. So this lilac is only supposed to get about, I think, chest high at its biggest, 4x4x4, 5x5x5, around there. So it should take up this space pretty nicely in about 5 years when it's done getting fully matured. But I wanted something that was going to be kind of tucked back from this tree, but still use this sun here and give me some sort of accent here and kind of finish off a little bit of a privacy screen between me and the next door neighbor. My bayberries need to be cut back. That's what these huge red things are. I do like them, but they're doing really, really well, and I really want to cut them back. I don't know what these are. I planted these last year. I want to say Shasta daisies. Anyway, it's another native plant. It looks like a daisy and it has white petals. Yeah, so no idea what that is. Similarly, this guy here, and then here. I planted 5 or 6 in this patch. 4 of them came back, and I also don't know what this is. I'm going to have to see the flower to figure out. Planted at the same time as this blue flax, which I love the blue flax flowers. They've been going all spring. They're small, but they're very pretty. And I've planted, let's see, last year, out of the 6 I planted, 5 came back, so pretty good survival rate. And then I've planted 4 more blue flax in here, hopefully to survive through the coming summer. And then so this will be a more filled in, bigger patch of blue flax for next year. Just trying to get like a big island of it, similar to what I'm kind of planting out in islands rather than doing poly plantings. Mostly because it's easier, but if stuff gets established and like I see it and I really like it, then I'll be able to move it around after that. But for now, I'm just trying to get it in the dirt in a way that's going to be easy to maintain. This is the yarrow. The yarrow is of course doing just fine always, because yarrow does just fine always. It's somewhat invasive. It is native, but it's somewhat invasive. So I've got to go through and hit it with the weed whacker over and over and over. I had a patch of stuff planted in this spot here, and then more going down this row. As you can see, there is 0. The bindweed pretty well choked out everything I planted in this area last spring and everything that was lower to the ground. There are a couple little patches that might come back up. For instance, this guy right here, and I hit it with the weed whacker, but this is a tiny little low growing flower. There's another patch of it over here. Oop, get out this chunk of bindweed. I weed whacked it, but that only takes it down to the ground. But so there are a couple that might come back after I've gone through and basically clean cut it, but I'm not super hopeful. Blanket flowers. I had a little bush here, I took that out, and then I finished planting out this row of blanket flowers. There were a few that survived last year. There was one that I uprooted in my haste. But I really like the blanket flowers, and they do really well, and they do really well in the full sun with no water. And they make really pretty flowers. So that's what's kind of gonna be greeting me as I drive in. I gotta get this mulch spread out over everything. That's been sitting in my driveway for 2 months now. I had to knock back the bindweed well enough for me to be able to get it in. This was, I wanna say it was called a snowball flower, something like that. Makes these white puffy flowers, also another native. A couple of blue columbines. I like them, but they're just an absolute pain to get started. So I'm undecided whether I'm going to try and plant out more of them in this spot or elsewhere or whatever or not. Rocky Mountain penstemon. The bees love it. The bees absolutely love it. Let's see if there's one hiding in this flower here. I'm trying to see if he'll come out. But, you know, there are a ton of different kinds of bees all over this flower at all times, and it has a relatively long blooming season, especially for penstemons, so I'm happy with that. This lavender did come back, but that I think was the only one. There might have been one other that came back that I accidentally weeded out, but really the lavender has been, it struggled last year because I didn't care for it appropriately. So I replanted it, and I replanted a row of small lavender all the way down and then around over to the edge of where the kind of that, about the side passenger door to the back of the front passenger door of my neighbor's car. So there's a ring of lilac that I'm trying to get grown in that I am hopeful will make like a nice little lilac hedge for people walking by. Moving along, this got beat up a little bit, also very slow growing anyway. This is an Engelmann's daisy. It's a native daisy. This is bee balm, and you can see it's struggling a lot. Where it kind of like it looks like it's kind of lollipop, like it's up on sticks. That's because that's how high the bindweed was before I got it whacked back today, or over this weekend. Like, so it got choked out by the bindweed. That's supposed to grow into a bush, and potentially a pretty big bush. Like, it's related to mint, but it's a clumping kind. But so it still should grow into bushes here, and I should have a decent sized bush of bee balm right here in another couple years. More Rocky Mountain penstemons. And then this I don't think is a native, but this is a butterfly bush. A couple of butterfly bushes back here. And I think they're really pretty. I am kind of sad that they're not a native, but I don't think they're a native, but they're really pretty. Oh, squirrel! Squirrel got into that. Moving around. Another catmint. Love the catmint. A few bulbs here in the shade. Not sure what they are. Planted by previous owners. Not, I assume by like somebody 10 years ago or something. But yeah, no idea what those are. Out of the 6 hostas I planted in this area, 3 have survived, but they should do well in years to come now that they're established because the summer sun comes from this direction in the afternoon. I'm taking this at about 10:30 in the morning or so, early in the summer. That's why it's getting full sun right now. But towards the end of the year, it's only going to get about 2 hours of full sun, so it should help it from not dry out so much. This is an oregano bush. Oregano loves this spot. Part of it is this downspout, and we've had more rain in Denver than Seattle has gotten. But this downspout spits right out into this oregano bush, and this oregano bush does great every year. This is about the time where I harvest it and start drying it, and I dry several bunches of this and use it throughout the year. The thyme is also doing really well. There are a few bulb patches. I'd originally planted about 12 thyme plants here, and it looks like I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so, but they're spreading out, so that should help cover. And there are a couple of little bulb patches that I need to fill in, like 3, 2. But this area was covered with leaves as well, which was choking stuff out, and with a lot of bindweed and thistle. Here, this is driving me nuts. I missed this guy when I was coming through this patch. Yeah. A few strawberry plants here survived. I need to go dig up my other strawberry plants in the back and then plant them here because this is a much better spot for them, I think. And it gets, like, these are June bearing. This spot gets great sun during June and almost no sun later in the year. And I think that's good for strawberries. It's going to reduce the stress on it when it's trying to send out runners and stuff. But it's going to get all the sun it needs in order to fruit solidly. So I'm putting more strawberries back in this patch. Grapevines. Ooh, why is a cigarette butt there? Whoop. Got it. This is, I want to say white Neptune grape. This is about 2-3 years younger than the other grapevine. I got this hacked back. I finished putting up the trellis. So I have I'm really treating it as a double cordon. I only built a single cordon, but I'm treating the top supporting bar as a second cordon. So I'm trying to get it so these things grow, meet about halfway through, and then the left side is going to be white table grapes and the right side is going to be red table grapes. This is a pink Reliance grape. It's many years older. It looks real dinky because I cut back probably 3/4 at least of the growth. Like, I was trying to cut it back as much as possible in order to get it exactly in the shape that I wanted it to be in. And then from here it's going to grow over the course of the year. And it should start producing the way I want it to and be much easier to maintain next year now that it's gotten shaped, because it was on one of these trellises. So I had to unwind it from the trellis, and then it had grown in like a bush shape rather than single vines the way you usually try for growing grapes. So I had to cut it back down to 2 vines, one on the top cord and one on the bottom, and then tie them up. But this thing, I'm guessing by the end of the year, will have already made it to the middle mark of this 12-foot cord. I think this is about 12 feet, 12 and a half, around there. But no, that's a 12-foot board. So it's 11 feet and 10 inches, 9 inches, something like that. I must have gotten the placement off a little bit, but anyway, that should be towards the middle by the end of the year. And then one more oregano plant back here. It used to be under this downspout, and it also really likes this spot. Oregano likes shade. Like, it tolerates it real well, and it helps it not bolt fast longer. So, like, this is going to be, I can harvest fresh oregano off of this plant a lot longer than that plant, and either of these plants a lot longer than the huge oregano bushes I have in back. Only real thing I did back here so far with irrigation is I added this rainwater catchment system. This also gets the water off of my swamp cooler. Wiggling it, but you can kind of hear there's water in it now. I'm going to have to go through and do something to make sure this props up the way it's supposed to. But water comes in, goes there, and then goes out this hose down to a soaker hose that goes the length of the bed. So I'm trying to spread the watering out so it's not just dump here, huge flush of weeds, one happy oregano plant, and then everything else suffers all summer. So I think that I finally got that set up the way I need it to be. And I'm very happy about that. So that's my front yard and what I've got left to do here. The annual patch, a lot of the seeds have come up, but also because of the rain, a lot of the weeds have already come back. And then the tree side has thistles that are getting close to chest high. So my project, after I finish cleaning up this front patch that I showed, the whacking out this side bed over here, next project is to go back and start on the thistles in the orchard area. But, you know, it could be worse. At least stuff is growing. Last one for this side. I'm a little embarrassed, so please don't judge the weeds too badly. But this guy and this guy are Nanking cherries. Both of them are doing great. I tried to train up this Nanking cherry to get it so it was easier to get underneath the bush. These it makes a solid bush shape and goes down to the ground. So I hacked all of the lower branches off. Well, it's starting to do it again. So end of this year, I'm going to have to hack it even higher up and kind of train it more into a tree shape. This guy is just too small to do it. Also, it's going to start, so sun comes from this direction. So this is going to stay more stunted than the other one. But over time, I want it to most of the way fill in this open space right here. Like this guy, you take that and you drop it right where this one is. It's going to be growing into a branch that I have to take down, but yeah, once these two are roughly the same size, this will also make a nice privacy screen for the other neighbor. The irises have largely already bloomed. The gladioluses have not yet bloomed. And the daylilies are getting real close. So, and I haven't lost too many daylilies, surprisingly. I was expecting to lose more. So it looks like I'm down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gladioli, and maybe about 5 daylilies from this patch. So I'm going to go through and replant probably in the fall because I don't really want to do it right now. We just got all of the rain that I wanted in order to replant stuff, and I got a lot of stuff planted, but I don't like planting out stuff right before the summer heat, and it's looking like it's going to stop raining as much as it has been. So that's what I got. Thank you much. Happy late spring, and take care, y'all.